What's good, y'all? It's your boy, Holy Shabazz, HOLYSHABAZZ. Like I always say, I don't care what they say about you in these streets. With Pablo, mess with your main. There's a dude named Howard Rubin. I don't know if he's related to Michael Rubin. Michael Rubin's the dude that be throwing the white parties and shit, that be having Meek Mill, and he just gets a bunch of rappers that are super gangster and he makes them like twerk in a pool or something. I'm just kidding. He do be making them do some freaky ass shit, like some like I don't be knowing, some real like demasculating you my bitch type shit. But this isn't about him. This is about a dude with a similar name. His name is Howard Rubin. Now this shit is crazy because, right, that people have been saying release the Epstein file, release the Epstein files, release the Epstein files, which I respect and I kind of agree with too. You know, release the Epstein files, man. I'm also smart enough to know I'm stupid. And even if they released the Epstein files, I'd probably look at them hoes and be like, I know some of these words, but I don't know all of them. You know what I'm saying? Meaning I probably wouldn't even know what I'm looking at. Even if you gave me the Epstein files, I probably wouldn't know that that's what they are until someone that understood them told me, like, nigga, those are Epstein files. Oh, okay, cool. So, like, they should still release them, though, so somebody that's smart can read them and then tell me about them, and then we can know the information together as a group. But it looks like the feds are starting to target some of these rich guys because, like, bro, if you know anything about people, birds of a feather fly together, or birds of a feather be having the same feathers, whatever the damn saying, however the saying goes, you know the damn saying. So if Jeffrey Epstein, who's a super duper wealthy guy worth whatever bajillion dollars, is out there doing all types of freaky stuff, he not out there doing all this freaky stuff inviting regular people over there. No. He's out there doing all that freaky stuff and he's inviting other rich gajillion 1% ass motherfuckers over there, right? So what that tells us, that there's probably a bunch of rich ass 1% ass dudes and dudettes that are out here doing Jeffrey Epstein like behavior. Because who else was he inviting to these parties and doing all the freaky, you're the mean stuff with them 1%ers, right? Because birds of a feather, you know, be in the bad together or whatever the case may be. So they looked into this dude named Howard Rubin, and apparently he has been trafficking women in New York, same as Jeffrey Epstein. Crazy how that goes, for the past 10 years. Now, I'm glad that the feds are on him and they arrested him and they got him, but bro was like fucking 70, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's had like at least 30 years of running amok, going crazy, maybe longer. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe longer. So it's like he did all that just to get caught and maybe go to jail for 10 years the rest of his life. Maybe he might get off. You know what I'm saying? Dude is super wealthy. He might have a lawyer, might be able to beat this shit. Who knows? So it's just crazy that like it took them so long. But that's one thing I've realized about the American legal system. It does take them so long to do anything. By the time they get everything, all the evidence together, and they're like, all right, we're ready to move. Like, you ready to move on who? Buddy had dead. He died of natural causes in his sleep. The nigga you been building up all this evidence on, he dead. Like, it took you 35 years for some reason to build up a case. You built up a case of 500,000 illegal actions. You probably could have got him life on the first one, but for some reason you wanted the other 499,000 other illegal acts to stack the case against him for some reason, because you just wanted the most solid case ever, and now you got your case is a brick. That hoe is solid. Steel. He's dead though, so irrelevant. Or he's on the way to die. You feel me? Like, he's gonna do 5 years in jail for all of the crime he was doing while y'all were building the case.
Former Wall Street financier and his personal assistant have been indicted on sex trafficking charges. Prosecutors say Howard Rubin and Jennifer Powers coerced dozens of women, including Playboy models, to fly to New York to perform sex acts at his penthouse or in luxury hotels. Prosecutors claim they spent more than $1 million to find the decade-long operation.
I'm not gonna lie, $1 million to traffic women across the country over 10 years is like $100K a year. like, not trying to make light of the situation because it's terrible. You know, prayers to these women that probably suffered terrible acts. They said he liked electrocution, but that's kind of cheap, dog. Let's be real. Just from a logistical standpoint, like 100K a year, bro, is trafficking women NDAs. He has other people involved, and he kept it to 100K a year. That is a frugal man. That is a frugal, evil man right there. That is a frugal, evil, freaky man.
Which included a so-called soundproof dungeon in his penthouse. Rubin pleaded not guilty in a New York courtroom yesterday. A judge ordered he be held without bail and cited he was a flight risk.
Good job, Judge. I'm surprised the judges, sometimes he's just so lost faith in some of these judges, bro. You be like, I be feeling like the judges on their side if you make a certain amount of money. Like, you know what I'm saying? You never know who donated to whose campaign fund this shit. So you just be scared. Like, no, he could go. He could go. And they got me reelected on the bench. Nigga, he definitely could go. You know what I'm saying?
Trafficking women for 10 years and was finally just arrested this morning. This is Howard Rubin, a retired New York financier with a net worth of $10.8 million. He, along with his assistant Jennifer Powers.
Look at his eyes, bro. Look at his eyes, dog. They all got them same, just like,
would lure women, often ex-Playboy models or current Playboy models, to a hotel in New York, and then they would be transported to an apartment in Manhattan. This apartment had a room that was completely soundproofed, painted a deep red color, and was full of BDSM equipment. It was referred to as a sex dungeon, and these women would be restrained against their will, they would be electrocuted, and they would be subjected to unthinkable physical torture. He was confirmed to have been abusing women from 2009 to 2019, and when these allegations first came out in 2021, his wife divorced him, and understandably, he was only able to keep it hush-hush for such a long time due to one thing: wealth. In 1983, he started as a bond trader for the Salomon Brothers, and he even worked for Soros Fund Management, which was founded by George Soros. In 2017, the lawsuits began, and women, Playboy models, started accusing him of beating them and also tying them with ropes harshly in exchange for only $2,000 to $5,000.
so then but that's the thing. I'm like, yo, like, that has to be addressed. Like, stop taking money to go do freaky stuff, and then when freaky stuff happens, you're like, oh, I knew I signed up to do freaky stuff, but not that freaky. It's like, bro, maybe just don't sign up to do nothing freaky. You know what I'm saying? It'd be different if this dude is like, because when I hear trafficking, I'm thinking like the same thing with the Diddy trial. I'm thinking they are taking people against their will and Bro, he's paying you to come in here and he's gonna do freaky stuff to you. That's what's happening, which is still bad. But why are you taking the money? If a nigga came to me and said, yo, I got 10 bands if you let me tie you up or just come in this room with me, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm broke and I'm gonna stay broke. I'd rather work at McDonald's. I'm cool. I feel like a lot of women will go and do some shit that they are gonna regret for some money, take the money, and then afterwards not be able to deal with like the weight of their decision or the regret of their decision, and then they basically paint the other guy out like, oh, he forced me to do it, and I'm like, that's just objectively not true. He paid you to do it, and you accepted the money. Might not have been enough money, but you accepted the money at the time. So it's like, how can you? He didn't force you. When people say sex trafficking, at least the way I've always thought about the word, I'm thinking he putting a plastic bag over your head outside of Walmart, or somebody is, and then you woke up, like in a dungeon. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. Not that like this is any better or this is okay, but it's not the same to me as what I be thinking when I think of.
Although all of that did in fact happen, he was not put in handcuffs until this morning. He was arrested at his home in Connecticut and was hit with a 10-count indictment for torturing women beyond their consent. His assistant Jennifer Powers was also hit with an indictment today for
beyond their consent. This nigga might get off. Beyond their consent that sounds hard to prove from a legality standpoint. Beyond their consent, this nigga might get off.
Spending $1 million of his dollars to fund this operation knowingly.
Rubin, by the way, who's a George Soros acolyte, who's very close with George Soros.
I said the same thing. Michael Rubin?
Michael Rubin, recently arrested for sex trafficking. Money manager Howard Rubin, not Michael Rubin. Not Michael Rubin. Not Michael Rubin. not Michael Rubin.
I said the same thing when I read it. I said, Michael Howard? Is it Michael Howard Rubin? Is that nigga middle name? Because if he was doing some sex trafficking shit, I'm not saying I believe it automatically, but nigga, I believe it.
Michael Rubin has done nothing wrong, not a goddamn thing. I think he had that white party. He had it every year in the Hamptons, and everyone behaved. And
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and Tom Brady was there, and everybody's in all white and shit. I don't know what the fuck. It looked like one of them freaky. You hear me? It do look freaky.
Was never invited. Famed money manager Howard Rubin was arrested in Connecticut. Connecticut is idyllic, isn't it? The rolling green hills, kind of the White Houses, the old Christmas in Connecticut's a great movie. Anyway, so this guy was abusing women in a dungeon. And beating them and burning them and kind of whipping them. Rubin is alleged in a 10-count indictment to have participated in sex with women in luxury hotels in New York and later rented a 2-bedroom penthouse apartment in Manhattan that was converted into a so-called dungeon outfitted with bondage, discipline, dominance, submission, and sadomasochism equipment, as well as soundproofing. The equipment allegedly...
I like how, and then this is also something that I blame the liberals for. This idea of like, oh, nigga, don't kink shame. No, nigga, you should kink shame. Some of your, like, if you are the type of person that wants to be tied up and abused, or wants to tie people up and abuse them, even if they give you consent to do that, that tells me something about you as a person. I don't give a fuck. You can't tell me, oh yeah, I just like to tie people up and abuse them, but with their consent. That doesn't make me a bad person. Nigga, what? Nigga, how? How's that possible? How's that possible? Yeah, I just like to get tied up and poked and prodded. I mean, I'm not weird. Are you sure? I disagree. I definitely disagree. I've always been one of the motherfuckers like, these be like, the idea of the left is like, bro, just don't have shame for anything and let everybody do whatever they want to do, unless it's on the list of things that we say are unacceptable. And I'm like, that is not how life works, bro. People's actions and their interests tell you a lot about themselves, bro. If you like to tie people up and abuse them, even with their consent, nigga, you're weird. And it's just what it is to me.
Included a device to shock or electrocute women. Maybe the judge will just basically go, Mr. Rubin, who amongst us hasn't set up a dungeon in Manhattan? Who amongst us hasn't electrocuted a woman or two? Who amongst us has not hired a hitman? It is not about falling down, sir. It's how you get back up. You hold your head high, because every man dies, but not every man really lives. I think it's going to be something like that. The judge will quote Braveheart to him. There's something that tells me the judge is going to quote Braveheart. When he sentences him to 4 days, he just walks right out of the court. He's like singing and dancing. I'm a good man. I was led astray.
Not Michael Rubin, Howard Rubin, another trafficker with hella money, also from New York. What are the chances? I bet money, even though the feds will never do it because it takes them too long. Look how long it took them to do this shit. This nigga been doing that shit for a decade. It took them another 10 years to indict him and shit. But if they looked into all them dudes, I'm sure they're all doing similar stuff. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. HOLYSHABAZZ. Like I always say, I don't care what they say about you in these streets. You wear Pablo, mess with your man. Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, TikTok, Holy Shabazz, Soundvoice, Code Worldwide, merch on the way. Appreciate your support. Till the next one. Boy, you better know it.